What if I told you the next 72 hours could completely reshape your January? And what's coming might catch even the most prepared among us off guard. Right now, as you're watching this on Wednesday, December 31st, 2025, day 365 of the year, something extraordinary is unfolding across America. And if you stay with me, at exactly the 5-minute mark, I'm going to reveal the one date in January that changes everything. A date when temperatures will shift by 25 degrees in just 48 hours. But first, here's what you need to know immediately. If you're traveling tonight, there's a dangerous situation developing right now. A sharp, intense snow squall line is forming. And I mean sharp, not the typical winter weather. We're talking about visibility dropping to zero in less than 5 minutes. This is the kind of event where God's power in nature reminds us how small we truly are. As it says in Job 37, verse 6, he says to the snow, "Fall on the earth," and tonight it certainly will. At exactly 5 p.m. tonight, Chicago faces the first wave. Fort Wayne follows within the hour. Then Cleveland gets hit around 7 p.m. The squall will be so intense, so fast-moving, that Pittsburgh sees it at midnight. Columbus at midnight. These aren't forecasts, these are certainties. And here's the shocking part. This single line of storms will affect 47 million Americans in less than 7 hours. 47 million people. Think about that. That's like the entire population of Spain, experiencing the same weather event simultaneously, moving at 60 miles per hour across the heartland. Now, I promised you something at the 30-second mark. Here it is. By Saturday morning, some locations in western New York will have 23 inches of fresh snow. 23 inches. That's nearly 2 feet piled on top of what's already there. Some communities south of Buffalo, 14 inches. West of Toronto, 13 inches. The Great Lakes are about to deliver what meteorologists call a snow bomb, and I'm going to show you exactly which neighborhoods get hit hardest. Stay with me, but here's where it gets interesting. Very interesting. While the East freezes, the West is experiencing something almost biblical. Los Angeles, the city of angels, is getting thunderstorms, real rotating thunderstorms, and not just any day, on New Year's Day. They had a tornado on Christmas, a tornado in Los Angeles on Christmas Day, and now, potentially another one on New Year's Day. What are the odds? What does that tell us? In Matthew chapter 16, verse 2, Jesus said, "When evening comes, you say, 'It will be fair weather, for the sky is red.' The signs are everywhere if we're willing to see them." Nature is speaking. For our friends in Los Angeles, evacuations are already happening, burn scar areas are being cleared, 2 to 4 inches of rain is coming, and the soil can't handle it. The earth is literally saturated. When the ground can't absorb anymore, where does the water go? It flows, and when it flows over burned hillsides, it carries everything with it. Debris flows, mudslides. This is a significant threat. And preparations must happen now. The Rose Parade, that beautiful New Year's tradition, is going to be incredibly wet, volatile, even. Winds will be strong enough to cause power outages. And here's something crucial. The heaviest rain hits between 6 a.m. and noon on New Year's Day. If you're planning to attend, you need to know this. Now, let me take you back east for a moment because something remarkable is happening with temperatures. And this is where your planning for January becomes critical. Remember, I promised you at the 5-minute mark, I'd reveal the one date that changes everything. We're almost there. Tomorrow morning, January 1st, Milwaukee will be at 0 degrees. 0. Madison, 0. Minneapolis, 0 or below. Northern Minnesota, -5 degrees. But here's the twist. And this is important. Wind chills will make it feel like -20 or colder. -20. That's the temperature where exposed skin can get frostbite in less than 10 minutes. Lexington, Kentucky wakes up to 30 degrees. St. Louis, 15 degrees. Indianapolis, 15 degrees. Columbus, Ohio, 15 degrees. Any moisture from tonight's squalls, it's going to freeze solid. Roads will be ice rinks by sunrise. Proverbs 25, verse 13 speaks of cold snow in harvest time, and we're seeing God's creation in full winter display. But here's the part that most people are missing, and this is absolutely critical. Keep watching because at the 7-minute mark, I'm going to show you exactly when this pattern flips. And when I say flip, I mean a complete 180-degree reversal. Let me show you something from the Climate Prediction Center. The 6 to 10-day outlook is showing something we rarely see. A massive high-pressure ridge building over the plains. This ridge is going to send temperatures 15 to 25 degrees above average. 15 to 25 degrees above normal across a corridor from Texas all the way to Nebraska. From Salt Lake City to Nashville. Imagine this. Places that are 0 degrees tomorrow could be 50 degrees in less than a week. That's a 50-degree temperature swing in 6 days. 50 degrees. The snowpack that's building up right now around the Great Lakes, much of it melts. The ice that's forming tonight, gone. And here's the date I promised you at the 5-minute mark, January 5th. Mark your calendars right now. January 5th is when this warm-up truly begins. That's the day everything changes. That's the day winter takes a break. But, and here's the big but, this warm-up doesn't come alone. With warmth comes activity. Lots of activity. After January 8th, we're looking at trough after trough after trough rolling across the country. Storm systems lining up like planes waiting to land. And here's where it gets volatile. Very volatile. Cold air doesn't give up easily. It fights. Warm air pushes. They battle. And when they battle, we get storms. Some areas will see massive snow. I'm talking feet, not inches. Other areas will see severe weather, tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds in January. This is not typical January weather. This is the kind of pattern that creates memorable events, the kind of weather we talk about for years. Think about this. We could see ice storms in the Midwest, major snow events in the Great Lakes, severe weather outbreaks in the South, all happening simultaneously, all after January 8th. The GFS model, which is one of our most reliable long-range models, is showing system after system after system. And here's what keeps me watching this closely. The pattern is so volatile that what affects the Midwest one day could shift south the next. Now, let's talk about what's happening right now in the next 18 hours, because this is immediate. This affects you tonight and tomorrow. Are you traveling? Are your loved ones on the roads? This next section is crucial. That snow squall I mentioned earlier, the one hitting Chicago at 5 p.m., it's going to create intermittent blizzard conditions, not all-day blizzard conditions. 5 to 10-minute blizzard conditions, but in those 5 to 10 minutes, everything shuts down. Visibility goes to 0. Traffic stops. This is dangerous. Cleveland and Fort Wayne could see the most intense 5 minutes of snow they've experienced all season. It happens fast. One moment you can see, the next moment you can't. This energy then picks up moisture from Lake Erie. It phases with a system in the Atlantic, and while it won't be a full nor'easter, areas around Cape Cod, Boston, and Maine will see significant snow, especially around St. John and extreme eastern Maine. Several inches possible. But here's the real story, and this is where those huge snow totals come in. After the squall passes, the lake effect machine turns on. And it turns on strong. The belts, those narrow bands of intense lake effect snow, are going to bury some communities. Western New York, 23 inches by Saturday morning, 23. Buffalo's South Towns, 14 inches. Toronto's west side, 13 inches. Western Michigan near Kalamazoo, 3 to 4 inches. Northern Lower Michigan, 8 inches. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan, over a foot. These are massive amounts falling in a short time. Now, most areas along the squall line itself, maybe an inch of accumulation. It moves too fast. Northeast Ohio might see close to 2 inches. But the higher elevations, that's where it piles up. The Appalachian Ridges in Maryland, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, over 8 inches in spots. Mountain terrain captures moisture, it wrings it out, and snow accumulates. For those of us who see God's hand in creation, these patterns are awe-inspiring. Psalm 147, verse 16, He spreads the snow like wool. And we're certainly seeing that wool being spread across the nation. From the East Coast to the West Coast, from snow to rain to thunderstorms, all happening at once. The diversity of God's creation on full display. Let me bring this back to what you need to do. Practical steps, action items. If you're in the path of tonight's squall, which includes Ohio Valley, Pennsylvania, Western New York, do not travel between 5 p.m. and midnight unless absolutely necessary. If you must travel, have supplies, blankets, water, snacks, phone charger, flashlight. Tell someone your route. If you're in Los Angeles or Southern California, secure outdoor items before tonight. Winds will be strong. If you're in a burn scar area and authorities tell you to evacuate, go. Don't wait. 2 to 4 inches of rain on bare soil creates debris flows. These move fast and are extremely dangerous. Your life is more valuable than your possessions. If you're waking up to January 1st in the northern states, dress in layers. Cover exposed skin. -20 wind chills are serious. Frostbite happens fast. Check on elderly neighbors. Make sure pets have shelter. Protect pipes that might freeze. And here's something I want you to remember throughout January. Write this down. After January 5th, when that warm-up begins, pay close attention to the weather. The active pattern means frequent changes. What's warm on Monday could be stormy by Wednesday. Plans may need adjusting. Flexibility is key. The pattern we're entering is what meteorologists call high amplitude. That means big swings, big changes, big storms. It's not boring January weather where every day looks the same. This is dynamic. This is active. This requires attention. Now, let's talk about something most forecasts won't tell you, the psychological aspect of these temperature swings. Tomorrow, you're bundled up, shivering, dealing with 0-degree temperatures. By January 6th, you might be wearing a light jacket in 40-degree weather. By January 10th, you might need the heavy coat again. These swings affect us. They affect our mood, our energy, our planning. Be prepared mentally for this. Don't let it frustrate you. Embrace it. See it as an adventure. Each day brings something different. And in that difference, there's beauty, there's variety. Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1, There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Even rapid temperature changes have their season. For our viewers over 45, and I know many of you are in that category because you've told me you remember winters that were consistent. Cold. In January stayed cold. But patterns are shifting. The jet stream is more volatile. We see these amplified patterns more frequently. This doesn't mean panic. It means awareness. It means preparation. Let me show you something else about this upcoming pattern. The storm track after January 8th. Multiple systems are forecast. One appears around January 9th or 10th. Another around January 12th. Another around January 15th. These aren't set in stone yet. We're still too far out for precise details, but the pattern supports repeated storm systems. What does this mean? It means snow lovers in the Great Lakes and Midwest should stay alert. It means severe weather watchers in the South and Southeast need to monitor forecasts closely. It means ice storm potential exists in the transition zones where warm meets cold. And those transition zones can shift 100 miles either direction based on small atmospheric changes. Here's the thing about January that makes it fascinating. It's a battleground month. Summer's heat is long gone. Spring's warmth is still months away. But winter's grip isn't absolute anymore. The sun is getting stronger every day. Days are getting longer, even if just by minutes. This creates conflict. Cold air masses from Canada. Warm air trying to surge north. They collide. And we get weather. Think of it like this. Imagine two armies meeting on a battlefield. Neither side is strong enough to completely dominate. So the battle line shifts back and forth. One day cold air wins, pushing south. The next day warm air rallies, pushing north. That battle line, that's where the storms form. That's where the action happens. And here's what's remarkable. In 2025 going into 2026, we're seeing this battle line very active. more active than normal. The ridge and trough pattern is amplified. When we're warm, we're very warm. When we're cold, we're very cold. The in-between is brief. This has implications beyond just temperature. Agriculture watches these patterns. Transportation industries watch these patterns. Energy sectors watch these patterns. And everyday people like you and me, we feel these patterns. We live them. Now, I want to address something important. Some of you might be feeling anxious about all this weather talk. Multiple storms, temperature swings, snow, ice, severe weather. It can feel overwhelming, but here's what I want you to understand. Knowledge removes fear. When you know what's coming, you can prepare. When you're prepared, you're confident, and confidence beats anxiety every time. 1 Corinthians 14, verse 33 tells us, God is not a God of disorder but of peace. Even in wild weather, even in volatile patterns, there's order, there's predictability. We can see these systems coming. We have days of warning. That's a blessing. That's a gift. Use that gift. Let me give you a framework for January. Week 1, which is this week, cold and active in the east, wet in the west. Week 2, starting January 5th, major warm-up begins, snow melts, temperatures soar. Week 3, starting January 8th, storm train begins, multiple systems, active weather. Week 4, still being determined, but likely continued activity. That's your January roadmap. You can plan around this. You can adjust around this. And here's something I'm going to do that most forecasters don't. I'm going to check in with you multiple times as these events unfold. This isn't a one-and-done forecast. This is ongoing. This is a relationship. We're going to walk through January together. Because here's the truth. Weather affects everything. It affects your commute, your plans, your mood, your safety. Treating it as important isn't being dramatic, it's being smart. It's being prepared. And preparation is wisdom. Proverbs 22, verse 3, the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. So let's be prudent together. Let's see what's coming and take appropriate action. That action doesn't mean hiding. It means adjusting. It means being aware. It means having a plan. Now, as we wrap up, let me give you the key dates one more time. Write these down. January 1st, tomorrow, flash freeze morning. Dangerous ice on roads. January 5th, major warm-up begins. January 8th, storm pattern activates. Multiple systems possible through mid to late January. For tonight specifically, snow squall between 5 p.m. and midnight affecting 47 million people. Lake effect snow begins after midnight. Continues through Saturday. Heaviest in New York, Ohio, Michigan, and Pennsylvania lake effect belts. For Los Angeles, heavy rain tonight through tomorrow, 2 to 4 inches. Thunderstorm risk. Potential tornado. Rose Parade very wet. Debris flow risk in burn areas. For the northern plains and upper Midwest, brutal cold tomorrow morning. 0 degrees or below. -20 wind chills. Brief warm-up follows next week. And here's my commitment to you. As January progresses, as these storms develop, as the pattern evolves, I'll be here, updating you, guiding you, helping you navigate what looks to be a very active month, because that's what we do. We don't just forecast weather, we help people prepare for it. We help people live with it. We help people stay safe through it. This isn't just about numbers on a map. This is about real people in real situations. This is about keeping families safe. This is about giving you the information you need to make good decisions. And I take that responsibility seriously. So as we close out 2025 and begin 2026, as we transition from December's cold into January's volatility, remember this, you're not alone in this. You've got accurate information. You've got advance warning. You've got time to prepare. Use that time wisely. And here's what's coming next. In my next update, I'm going to dive deep into the January 8th storm pattern. I'm going to show you exactly which system looks most significant. I'm going to break down the severe weather threat for the south. I'm going to map out the snow potential for the north. And I'm going to give you day-by-day guidance through the most active period. You won't want to miss that because the details matter. The timing matters. And knowing exactly what to expect, exactly when to expect it, that's power, that's preparation, that's peace of mind. The next 72 hours will be challenging for many. The next 3 weeks will be interesting for everyone. But together, with accurate forecasting, with timely updates, with a community of prepared people, we'll get through it just fine. Better than fine. We'll thrive through it. Stay safe out there, keep your loved ones close, check on your neighbors, be kind to strangers dealing with difficult travel, and remember, in all things, we're blessed to live in a time where we can see these events coming, where we can prepare, where we can act with wisdom and foresight. The weather may be volatile, but our response doesn't have to be. We can be steady, we can be calm, we can be ready, and that makes all the difference. God bless you, stay safe, and I'll see you very soon with those January updates. The most important part is still ahead.